What's up, guys? Driving vlog, I guess. I don't even know if these things are legal or not, but I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm going to keep my eyes on the road for any legal folk out there. Fucking hell, come on. So I don't really know where I'm going to go with this vlog, if the truth be known. I'm probably going to name it Debt and Sh1t or something like that, because that's what's laying on my mind at the moment, and it's something that's been laying on my mind for 20 years maybe, and I think it might be good to get it out in the open, really. So a few of you know, a few of you don't, I'm sure. This probably won't be a new use to some people. About 15 years ago or so, maybe about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, in between, I had a business, and that business was fairly successful. Financially wise, obviously it's kind of gone shits up in, sort of like about 7 years ago or whatever, but that's irrelevant. That's not really my point. So yeah, fairly successful, money wise, good income. As everybody knows, you earn good money, you spend good money. A lot of that money got reinvested into the business. I had debts, but hey, if you're earning X amount per month, then paying out 4 or 5 grand a month, and you're earning 15 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, those debts are manageable, and most of the debts was plugged back into the business. So when my business started going shits up, now this is the thing that a lot of you know, when the business started going shits up, I turned to not exactly legal activities, selling stuff on the internet that I shouldn't have been, nothing incredibly dodgy, like I'm stuck behind a learner. Oh dear. Right, this vlog's just gonna get really slow. So yeah, I started selling DVDs, dodgy DVDs on a website. They were horror DVDs, all sort of what they've brought out now, Arrow Video and 88 Films and all of that. There was a lot of films out there without they were in the public domain. A lot of it when I started was in the public domain, so I'd be downloading it and selling it basically, and then obviously over the years these companies started buying the license to sell them, and one day good old trading standards came knocking. But again, this isn't about that really. That was more out of desperation than anything else really. That was more so earning X amount of money, and then that going shits up, and I knew that if I went out and got a job, just over broke a job, I would not be earning anywhere near, what the fuck is this learner doing, man? I would not be earning anywhere near the money that I needed to pay off my debts, to work a life that I wanted. And there was a lot of things that sort of went with that, and it was health of my wife's parents at the time, where my wife was working long hours, I was thankfully working from home. I mean, I was doing all the hours under the sun, but it was hours that I could do. You know, if like I needed to take a day off, then, you know, to take parents to hospital or whatever, then happy days. You know, it's like I'd take that day off and I'd just work, you know, double the next day. And it kind of got to the stage where parents weren't very well at all, and if I went back to work, things would be very awkward. I'm not going to go into that because I think that's a bit personal from my wife's perspective, and it's like I don't mind sharing shit that's personal to me, but when it comes to my wife, you know, that's down to her to sort of like tell anybody that wants to hear. But you know, she's quite a close-knit type person, so I won't be diverging things like that on this vlog, because that's not my business. And yeah, so I turned to illegal activities to make it pay, or make sort of my money bump up to where the business was before. It never really took off. It never really, you know, never really paid as much as my business did in the heyday. So over a couple of years I started losing money. The debts became a bit more... Oh, there's an accident there. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay, so behind me, I'm not going to play around with the phone, but if you look behind me, you're not going to see it. Oh, Alfa Romeo smashed up. Probably somebody doing a vlog on on their phone, not concentrating on the road. So yeah, debts sort of mounted up and so on and so forth, and then, like I pre-mentioned, trading standards came knocking and everything came crashing down, really. Had to sell my car, had to sell shitloads of things to sort of make ends meet. Went back into a company, kept my house by the skin of my teeth, and I will tell you that it was a case of our mortgage was almost $1,500 a month, which, you know, again, was perfectly manageable. It's a lot of money. It's't manageable when you're earning X amount of money, but when that stops coming in, then, you know, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, it's a case of like, you cut your cloth accordingly. House by the skin of my teeth. Sold my car, sold pretty much everything I had that was tangible. I had a beautiful Dell PC that was like about a £5,000 PC, and that kind of went for a fraction of its price. It's kind of is about money, but it's more about where I am now and how I see things today and how I'm talking to you that, you know, it is going to become apparent in a bit, and it might be a vlog number 2 because I'm driving somewhere and I'm almost there. So well, I'll be there in 10 minutes or so. But yeah, so where was I? Everything went shits up, lost loads of money, wanted to keep my house. That's my car telling me the seatbelt's not working. Yeah, but where I kind of am is that that business, the first business really so much, it kind of left me with about, so I've got a big mortgage, a big old mortgage, £300,000 mortgage, and that left me with £89,000 worth of debt. So that debt is like things like where I bought websites and, you know, pay for X amount, pay for Google AdSense, and, you know, to help the business. And again, back then, £89,000, I think I was a little bit deluded by thinking that wasn't a lot of money. Where you know, of course it fucking is. But when you're sort of in that environment, you kind of lose track of reality. Anyway, so that 89 grand sort of carried over to when things went shits up, and I got a job at Fitness First for £14,000 a year. Bearing in mind where I was and where I am then, or where I was then, big difference. So contacted a company called Payplan. They amalgamated the debt, and at the time I was paying about £250 towards that debt a month. So they amalgamated it all, put it into a manageable payment, and you pay that manageable payment. So in my mind, it's like I owe people money. You know, these are like big banks and so on and so forth. When you talk to people from Payplan and things like that, they kind of explain how banks work, and they, you know, prey on people that are in trouble, and they make their money and so on and so forth, and they've got contingencies for people when they don't pay their money back. And you know, it's not all, because the depression was real. I mean, the depression for probably about 2 years, 3 years, still there. It really is still there. But sorry about that, my phone overheated. It's quite hot in here, so yeah, poor old phone. So the depression, and 2-3 years. Do you know what? I'm just parked out now, so I will come back to this, and I'll stop this with the cliffhanger. So and then I'll continue part 2 in a second. I just need to go and get something, and I'll be back, and I will upload this while I'm going to get something. So stay tuned for part 2 of the Great Depression, debt and shit.